The final moments of the fourth episode of Loki had a lot going on, and then we of course got to the post-credit scene where we got introduced to many more Lokis. Now, one of the actors who plays one of them has officially announced that, yeah, that's me. Also, here's my photo. So let's talk about the boastful Loki. So Loki is definitely leading us into a mysterious world, even if that world is just centered around Loki, which makes sense for the character since he's all about himself. But hey, over there, if we look at boastful Loki, and that is what he's credited as, so that's what we're going to call him, we now have a better look at the character from the actor himself, and also it is a photo that takes us behind the scenes of when they were shooting the series. So it's kind of nice to have one of these photos that's just not perfectly lit or anything, but also gives us a look at the suit and its natural lighting and conditions, not all in the final post-processed image, if you will. Now, what I do love about this is the fact that when we look at him, we see some of the more traditional things that Loki has, such as that little necklace and everything with the V going on, the golden V type of shape. I don't think that's a V necessarily, but you get what I'm saying. But also, we see how the garb goes down and how they're actually using elements of Thor's outfits, classic Thor outfits, but then also this Loki having his own version of Mjolnir is interesting. So maybe when we learn more details about him, we're going to learn that maybe this is some sort of version that is both Thor and Loki combined, which I think then the title of Boastful Loki makes a lot of sense. And for those that are wondering why everybody's calling him that, it's because that's what he's credited as in the credits of the last episode. So we're going with that up until we actually learn his name, unless he really have a name, it's just Loki. Then we just go with Boastful Loki, because differentiating them. And I will fully admit, I had no idea if this was a comic book version of Loki or not, just because the Thor comics have always been something that is hard for me to get into in the Marvel comics. Outside of Jane Foster's run, I've never really clicked with that character at all, or that world on a bigger scale outside of specific characters, like the Enchantress being one of the only ones. So outside of that, I had no idea if this was a comic book thing. And according to everybody online that I've been able to find or talk to, and even some of my friends that love Thor in the comics, apparently this is a MCU original creation, which I think is great, because they're able to take some of their own ideas and put them in here and sort of do their own thing. Not everything has to be from the comics, and I think we've kind of grown to accept that in this day and age, especially with so many live-action versions of everything now. So overall, I can't wait to see if this Loki has more screen time and what his story is going to be, because that's the most interesting part to me. Tell me your story and how you got Ratchet and Clank's Mjolnir.